What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another trade recap. Today we lost $395. So I'm going to go into what happened in the trades that I took. I took two trades today. One was break even and one was a loss. So that being said, let's get right into the higher time frame analysis. Going into the day, I honestly had a neutral bias, and the reason for that is because we were about 230 points away from this buy side draw on liquidity, and then we were about 250 points away from our sell side draw. So whenever that happens, I'm usually looking for my condition to be respected or disrespected. And in that case, it was the 15-minute fair value gap, which I'm going to get into in a second. We did have CPI this morning, which was at 8:30, and we pumped up around 245 points in that one candle. We did not leave any data highs or lows. As you can see on the 1 minute is always where you mark out your data highs. There wasn't one left here, and then data low, this is not something I would mark out because it's not an actual swing low, nor is it like an obvious wick, right? It has to be a swing low, which means that it has a higher low on the left side and it has a higher low on the right side, kind of like this right here. So if this is what it looked like at 8:30, like this wick right here, then it would be a data high. Say we have a lower high on the left side and we have a lower high on the right side, which creates that swing high, right? But this did not happen at 8:30. As you can see, that happened around 1 minute after. So there was no data high or low to target. So we did have this very obvious 15-minute gap, and we were continuing to respect it pre-market. So my idea was that we are going to tap in here, get displacement, and then target this buy side draw on liquidity. Now, I typically don't like targeting buy side or sell side like that when we're so many points away. I usually like to wait for confirmation. So even if we displace out of this gap, I want to wait for something like this and then push towards buy side. But because this was such an obvious 15-minute gap and the reaction that we got at market open, sweeping sell side in this 15-minute with strong displacement, very nice V-shaped recovery, I was open to take this trade. So this was the trade idea right here. Would have been whatever 3.5 R. I never hold trades this long. So what my trade idea was just a fixed 1-to-1 R, which would have been basically at this buy side level, somewhere around here. We did have nice like generated liquidity right here. That kind of adds to that confluence. We did start pushing up right here. And once I see a nice displacement candle like this, that comes to about like half of my TP, so like 0.5 R, that's when I'm going to move my stop to break even. Even though we didn't take any internal highs or anything, this was enough displacement that I wouldn't want price to come back on me and stop me out. So that's why this trade was break even for me. In my opinion, this was a pretty good trade. But again, I do like to usually wait for more displacement and then a pullback and then target the draw on liquidity up here just to confirm that we're going to head in that direction, right? Because we're still pretty far away from this draw on liquidity, this higher time frame draw, that I just want to see more confirmation. And that's why when this trade didn't play out here, now I wasn't as confident in longs playing out because we have this perfect delivery to this 15-minute gap, nice V-shaped reaction, but we did not end up delivering or even pushing up much at all, right? So because this trade failed and we are still so far away from this buy side draw on liquidity, I typically am not going to switch my draw that fast, but because of how quickly this did fail and the displacement we got to the downside, this is when I was sort of looking for a short. We got this flip, nice displacement, and I did enter right here, targeting these London lows. We kind of had relative equal lows here. Really nice trend line liquidity here as well, just this stacked low resistance liquidity. And again, I would never even be open to taking a short after taking a long towards buy side if we were closer to the draw. For example, if we did push, displace through this range, get a pullback, and then this failed here, I'm not going to all of a sudden switch my bias and then start targeting sell side down here until I get way more confirmation. But because we're still inside of this range and we failed to break through it off of this 15-minute delivery and displacement, that's the reason why I was okay with taking this trade. I did like this trade because we had a nice deep retrace with displacement down, but I didn't like how we weren't delivering out of a fair value gap. That's why it was definitely not an A+ trade. We did inverse this 1 minute gap, but this trade did not end up playing out, unfortunately. The trade idea was definitely right. It's just we didn't end up taking it in this leg. You can see how choppy price action was after this, and we really had a lack of volume and delivery. Even after this, once price pushed down, we didn't even end up taking out these sell side draws. And then we did get another opportunity right here where a 5-minute fair value gap opened up. Price came all the way back up, tapped into this 5-minute gap, and we got nice displacement out of here targeting these London lows. And this was honestly a pretty good trade, despite the fact that we had terrible price action up until this point. So based off of what this market was looking like at this point, I wouldn't take this trade because we can see we failed to deliver to the first draw. We failed to deliver here, and then we just start to range only like 10 to 15 minutes into market open. Already not ideal conditions. So that's why I was done for the day and didn't want to take anything. And especially when you see price come all the way down and edge such a strong draw on liquidity like this and not take it, it's really not what you want to see. Ideal market conditions, you get displacement down like this, we're probably going to take this sell side draw. So that's why this didn't end up playing out. Not ideal market conditions, and at this point, I would definitely be avoiding this trade. I didn't take this, but we didn't even end up delivering after this. We just chopped around and didn't take sell side. It's days like this that you want to be able to identify poor market conditions early on to prevent yourself from revenge trading, because you're going to get chopped up. As you can see, for trading continuations, this is the worst possible price action that you can have. We're looking for clean displacement towards an obvious draw in liquidity, and the market has to be trending towards one of these higher time frame draws for this to actually play out. These are the conditions that we want to avoid. So hopefully you guys were able to protect your accounts. Losses are part of the game and it's unavoidable. The point is to learn from your losses and avoid setups that are not part of your system. You want these to be statistical losses, so trades that are actually good quality trades that didn't end up playing out, and not you continuously re-entering in poor market conditions in the hopes of hitting a good trade. That's why I've always taken just one loss per day, because psychologically it works for me. One loss and I'm done. If I take one break-even trade, I'm totally willing to take another trade after that, but I don't want to take 2 losses in a day, because it's very common that market conditions are probably not the greatest, especially if we're not delivering to such strong draws on liquidity like this. So keep your heads up. And if you're able to avoid a loss today, good for you. You're able to identify poor market conditions. So that's going to be it for me today. If you guys want to join my free Discord, the link is in the description below. And I post my trade recaps every single morning. I'm going to be starting to post my draw on liquidity for the day, as well as I'm going to be live trading as well. So look out for that. I'm going to probably be live trading like 3 days a week. That's what I'm looking to do in the near future. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything you'd like to see in that Discord. But if you're already in it already, post your trades in the profits channel, and take a moment to introduce yourself if you're new as well. So yeah, that's everything for me today. So we'll see you guys in the next trade recap tomorrow.